Yo, tell these niggas to step their passport up. Local jokers.
It is true, we are in a spiritual war, getting attacked from all angles, and for the last of a dying breed of a real alpha leader, chief, stand-up man. This is the time to stand up for your rights, for humanity. Stack up your artillery and goods for this conquest to demolish the beta male simp civilization.
I ain't trying to be called a
biatch.
They best get this guy, because if he comes out and he's free, oh my gosh. Can you imagine if he comes out and he's free, what his first life is going to be like? It could break the record. It'll be 100 million views on YouTube. It'll be the talk of the world. It'll be banned in countries. It'll be feared, because if you go after a person like this, you better have proof to arrest him or get him. You don't go through somebody like this because they become a big figure and their message becomes bigger, specifically to the people that didn't listen to it before or hated it. They're going to say, why are you trying to silence this guy? And you don't think Andrew's going to come out telling the story? It's going to be a very hard season for those that try to silence this guy.
I will say this because I say it on every single podcast. If they lock me up for some insane bullshit,
Andrew Tate has been arrested.
I didn't do it.
The Matrix has attacked me.
If I carry on at the trajectory I'm carrying on, they're going to put me in jail because I'm too influential. For the people watching at home, they just need to sit and understand that the system does not make rules for the good of you. It makes rules for the good of the people who make the rules. And a lot of the life paths laid out to the average man at home today is not for their own good. It's only going to lead them to depression and misery.
Do you think you're a force for good?
I absolutely not really know I'm a force for good because I'm a force for truth. And truth is a good thing. Without truth, we're going to end up in absolute tyranny and slavery, and we're already on our way there. I think there's a whole swath of the population, especially young men, that feel disenfranchised. I haven't put a magic spell on the world. The fact that people like what I say means that they agree with me deep inside. They may be afraid to say it themselves, but I am seen as a bastion of free speech and a bastion for masculinity as a whole, because a lot of men are largely forgotten about.
You love me.
Andrew Tate's one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever met in my life. I hate everything that's going on. Like, love him with all my heart.
Yeah.
Like, I'll die on that mountain with you, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get on that hill. Where's the sword?
Why is the enemy of the state, so to speak?
He's got the hearts of young men.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the hearts of young men.
And that's a threat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like men nowadays need an Andrew Tate. He's a guy who's motivating men to be men.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. There is a large contingent of the population. There's a large contingent of men out there who don't want to wear makeup, who don't want to be girls, who don't want to be told they're toxic because they want to go to the gym, who want to drive nice cars, who want to have money, who want to have hot chicks. And there's nothing wrong with us. We are not evil. We are not bad. We're not misogynistic. We're not out to hurt anybody. Let me tell you one more thing. When bad things happen, they call men like us. The feminists who hate us and call us toxic, the second they have trouble, they'll call a police officer. Do you think they want a feminist male to turn up or a man like me and you? They need us and they use us. But the second we have an opinion, the second I decide to voice and talk about the things that we talk about, explain our points of view, they want to cancel us. They don't want us to speak. They just want us to defend them, build the railroads, build the roads, be the workhorses, be the slaves, and they think we're not allowed our point of view. Well, they made a fucking mistake, because I, like every great leader throughout history, charge first, before my army. Cavalry charge at the enemy. You can cancel me.
There's no evidence in my files. I've done nothing wrong. Everybody knows I'm innocent.
This is a huge injustice the way we see it. They should not be detained at this point. There are not even charges filed against them.
People are trying to set him up to look like he's something that he's not.
Masculine men have a duty to provide and protect those they care about. We have a duty to do things we don't feel like doing because we know we're supposed to do them. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible, and I need to work hard to achieve those things.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think.
There's no such thing as too much masculinity if it's genuinely masculine. Genuine masculinity is not out here to hurt people. It's absolutely the opposite. It's out here to protect. And when bad things happen, they call traditionally masculine men. If you need a firefighter, you need a masculine man. When you call the police because of the problem you had, you want masculine men. And as soon as a woman or a man is in trouble, when you look for backup, you look for masculine men. And masculine men have a duty to provide and protect those they care about. We have a duty to do things we don't feel like doing because we know we're supposed to do them. And that's why we stayed in the Titanic and died. And the dangerous thing about overly emotional men is that they're dangerous. They're genuinely dangerous. This is what's crazy. All these people who talk about toxic masculinity and how bad it is for men to be traditionally masculine. A traditionally masculine man does things he doesn't feel like doing because it is his duty to do them. He charges into the building because it is his duty. Not because he feels like it, because it is his duty. We're now teaching the new generation of men that they don't have duty and they can just act on their feelings and act how they feel, and they don't have to act as a man should. Do you know what happens when you get men who just act how they feel? You get school shooters, you get violence, you get rapists. Men who do not control their emotions are dangerous. If you find a man who is stoic, he's not going to hurt people. He's going to sit and think about his actions very carefully, and he's going to be a good man who protects and provides for his family. You find a man who just acts out on impulse and does whatever he feels like, you're going to find a dangerous man. Sitting here telling men to cry more and act with their feelings and it's okay to feel this way, that way, etc., and have no self-control. That is why we have the problems we have in the world. Absolutely and utterly wrong. So when they talk about toxic masculinity, they have it completely inversed on its head, completely and utterly wrong. We need to be teaching stoicism. We need to be teaching young men to understand that the world is very, very difficult. It's hard to be a man. You're going to feel bad sometimes. You just suck it up and perform anyway. Not to sit there and cry your eyes out or blame other people.
We live in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter, and I'm going to tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul, and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. If you're listening to this and you think I'm never lucky, I'll tell you why, because God dislikes you because you're fucking lazy. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'd be amazed how lucky you'll become. Wow. God is unhappy with these people. And inside their hearts, they're unhappy. We talk about depression, anxiety. That comes from self-loathing. You loathe your own weakness. You loathe your own laziness. This is what all of these things are. I don't feel depression. How can I feel depression when I'm the most powerful version of me that I could ever fucking be? How can I feel depression when I could squeeze my own hand hard enough to break my own bones? How can I feel depression when I've smashed and destroyed 68 people's faces in front of me? Men who thought they could test me in fair combat. How can I feel depressed? It's impossible. Do you understand? They're getting distracted by this, distracted by that, watching fucking Netflix, jerking off to Pornhub like fucking jackasses. It's so easy to win if you can control your own mind. But it seems that nobody fucking can. And that's how the people who run the world keep the world running. Because they have all the slaves exactly where they need them to be. Permanently distracted and semi-depressed. Working their asses off in jobs which will never satisfy them and never pay enough money. That's the Matrix.
Hey, Andrew, how do I get like a six-pack quick? What's the fastest way to get a six-pack?
Why does it have to be quick? Why does it have to be easy? Why do you think life is all quick and easy? Why can't it be hard and difficult? Why can't you suffer? Because suffering is what gives it value. If everyone had a six-pack and it was quick and easy, then it wouldn't be valuable, would it? If everyone walked around with a six-pack and they got it easily, then no one would give a shit. The whole point is that it's difficult to get. Value is linked to difficulty. If you want something that is valuable, you need something which is difficult to obtain. The fact that you just said you wanted it quick and easily shows that your whole mental model is fucked. You shouldn't be thinking about quick and easy. You should be thinking about hard, suffering, pain, going through it. That's what you should be thinking about. This is going to be hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because when it is done, then everyone's going to know that I went through something difficult. Why do you want it to be quick and easy?
You're
Don't
right.
you understand how your mind is? Your mind is broken. Your mind is broken.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about based on how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and be indefatigable enough to never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important. I think you get to decide what character you want to be in this movie, which is your life. You can decide if you want to be a comedian or a musician or a fighter. You get to decide what you want to be. And if you work hard enough, you can become it.
It's the denial that's going to hold you back the most. The people who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything and I am not that yet. They have a chance.
This stream actually, like, I'm pretty sure changed, like, lives. I swear to God. Like, you changed lives just now.
I hope so.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
Toxic masculinity, and I got really upset today thinking about how they're teaching boys to basically shut up and let the girls talk, and pushing down boys and anything masculine. I'm a girl. I love being a girl. I can do whatever I want to do in this lifetime. No one's stopping me, except the IRS. But I can go do whatever I want. And this idea that men are the reason that women have... No, that's bullshit. Toxic femininity is the issue. This overabundance of express your feelings, and you can't hurt my feelings, and you have to use my pronouns, and there's 700 genders, and my mom... No, we need backbones. We need fucking balls. I'm tired of this shit. Toxic femininity is the issue.
Thank you, Jesus!
I'm not even saying this to be funny, but you should be pissing off a man as soon as possible. You will see their true colors very, very quickly. They'll say something, they'll do something, and you will know if that's a man that you should be dealing with.
What do you think the issue is with modern dating?
I think men are idiots. All of them.
What?
Do men or women have easier lives?
Men. Women just do so much for this world. That's actually crazy. Men? What do men do? Nothing. Men are trash. Remember that.
Fucking useless sack of shit. Get out! Sharon, enough's enough. Fuck off and go and put some more makeup on.
Is it considered a woman's preference to reject a guy based on his height, but it's considered shallow if a man rejects a woman based on her weight?
I don't know.
Is that another double?
I agree with you, so it's like...
Is that another double standard?
Yeah.
Can you think of any double standards in relationships that don't exclusively favor women?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
And she had nothing.
But you men have such a large selection of women. You can really do...
Y'all standards be too unrealistic, first of all.
What's the unrealistic standard?
Bro, y'all
What's the unrealistic standard?
Yo,
okay, all right.
Wake up, Tonton Samuel. Wake up, Tonton Samuel, bro. Wake up, Tonton Samuel, bro.
No, y'all standards be funny as hell because y'all can't even match up to half of the standards y'all ask for. Y'all can't pay for nobody. Y'all can't provide for nobody. Y'all can't do nothing that y'all asking for. Y'all want a nigga to do that plus be mentally there for you and do... Yo, bro,
yet again, if a man asks to cook,
stop it. And then y'all can't even
to
do
be
shit
quiet
to do. Yo,
is an issue. But look at the requirements y'all ask.
But a nigga, hold on, his responsibility in life, regardless of if a nigga give him recognition or not, or anybody, is to provide. We don't give a fuck if they doing it for our recognition. Exactly. We don't give a fuck for recognition. We doing it because we have to, nigga.
Yes.
We don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about you as soon as you become a man.
Facts.
Child only, children and women, nigga. This is facts.
Real factual shit.
This is what I have to really hit y'all with because sometimes y'all be forgetting.
I think the question is more so, how traditional are you?
I am not super traditional, but I think that in today's society, I would be considered more traditional and conservative than most people.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not.
So I think like the bigger question, because you have like these high standards for your man, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you prepared to offer him?
Well, myself.
I think that men have a very unique life path, and it's very difficult to try and achieve status as a man. It's not easy to stand out from the crowd because the only way to truly achieve individuality is usually a long, difficult road. It takes a long time to become an important man. And even what women expect of an important man, you need to be smart, charismatic, intelligent, strong, have a nice car, nice apartment, good network, good friends. You need to be able to handle stress. You need to be competent. There's so many things you need to be able to do. It's difficult for a young man to even have all these things. There's the reason women like older men.
I can relate to that. What's your body count?
55.
Really? How
About
old
to be 56.
How old are you?
21.
Oh no, she didn't!
One secret you never told your ex.
That I'm a big flirter and I flirt with motherfucking everybody and his friends included.
She belongs to the street.
If you're not sucking my toes, we're not gonna last too long.
Huh?
What's the worst lie you ever told an ex?
That I didn't cheat on him?
Oh. I hope to get a girlfriend like you one day.
Yeah, I'm wifey material.
Meanwhile.
Hoes need abortions! Hoes need abortions! Hoes need abortions! Hoes need abortions! Hoes need abortions!
I'm telling you straight up, you got 50 partners and you're in your 20s as a female. That's nasty. I don't care who I just insulted. That is nasty. That's nasty. Why is it nasty, you ask? Well, it shows that you don't take sex seriously. You can't have had 50 people that you were in love with. Come on. You can't have had 50 serious relationships at that point. When did you start? 8? So that tells me that you're fickle with your body. Very fickle with your body. That tells me that a lot of that sex is without emotion. That tells me that you're not being terribly particular. 50 is an extremely high number. So that's not attractive. It's not sexist to say that that is less desirable than someone who has body count of.
You dirty girl.
You said that you grew up in Thailand?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
I believe that in the like the Andrew Tate, he's more inclined to those cultures in the Middle Eastern cultures.
Yes.
You know why? Because the women do the stuff that I do. They really do like worship their husband.
Also in Eastern Europe where he actually lives. Yeah.
Correct.
Same kind of situation.
I'm not as familiar. My son's father's from Europe, but in Eastern Europe, I know it's like that too. The women, they are like, what can I do to serve your needs? And this is like, ask your spouse this question, both sides.
Yeah.
Every day, what can I do to serve you more? Like,
what can I do to serve you more? Like,
if more people did that, we'd have less problems in relationships.
Men are allowed multiple women. Women are not allowed multiple men because if a woman has multiple men, you cannot ensure paternity. And the modern science of the devil, just because we can work out how the dad is, doesn't mean the actions are acceptable.
That's true.
Under the will of God. I can walk and have 10 wives behind me. That's perfectly acceptable.
So
if a woman has 10 men, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely vile.
Yeah.
Females should not talk to any man besides her brothers, her father, and the man she's with. If she truly loves me, she should want as much help as possible to cater to me and serve me.
Motherfucker in Chinese. 畜生.
In China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 羅底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝做辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 筍盤, which means quality real estate.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear that right?
Society's always telling women, know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. But we act like men aren't supposed to know their worth. And people take issue when a man knows his worth. Men should know their worth just as much as a woman. You have to understand you have value here. You are just as important to this relationship as she is. So just as you need to give to her, she needs to give to you. It's a two-way street. And I think more importantly, you have to get to a point where you are not afraid if she walks away from you.
Yeah,
the reality is that men, especially good men, get caught up in the fear of losing her, that they do everything in their power to keep her, not realizing that now, rather than losing her, you're losing yourself.
You a simp!
So, what do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced that said by 2030, 50% of the women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading. because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas. And then two, the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their option.
Even though this is a double-edged sword, and there is just as many bad men as there is bad women, but there are still left few good men who want the old traditional ways of protecting their women, raising a family, surrounded by real friends, eating real food that's not degrading your testosterone. But in this society, it has become meaningless. It's become the norm to work your life away for almost nothing. And obesity being the norm, we must all wake up and unite like Mother Nature intended to.
My man.
Civilization declines and falls when the succeeding generations are weaker than the previous. Today, we do the opposite. We design things to make us weaker. We need a new vision, and it starts with recognizing all the things priorly mentioned. Please delete your dating apps. They are full of soy boy simps. Instead, go to the grocery store and look lost. Cheap hookups and modern dating is humanity at its worst, guaranteed to leave you unfulfilled and yearning for more. Superficial relationships and one-night stands are what have you chasing more and more after the D. And vice versa. Marriage and family have been the foundation of society for thousands of years, if not millenniums. It is the core to raising good people. Instead, find someone who you share goals with, someone who wants to live the highest life possible and do it together. Stop dating over looks. Actually, really fall in love. You will not regret it in the end.